Rat City, issue number 2 from Image Comics. So yeah, this is issue number 2 of our Cyberpunk Spawn series. And for anyone who didn't read the first issue and didn't watch my video where I reviewed that, I'll do a super quick recap. Basically, we're in the future. Our main character's name is Peter. He was a soldier. In the last issue, he was on this mission with his best friend Reyes and their squad. When their entire squad got ambushed, everyone died except for Peter and Reyes. They survived, but they ended up losing limbs. And so they went under this testing that the government was doing where they gave them these upgraded cybernetic limbs, and they were running some kind of secret tests. And they felt like Peter and Reyes weren't living up to their potential, so they released them. And so Peter goes and tries to make ends meet, and there's a huge explosion that was somehow caused by Al Simmons in the past. So yeah, somehow Al Simmons in the past created an explosion that somehow caused an explosion over 100 years into the future. How exactly, I don't know. That's kind of like the mystery that's overhanging this series. So yeah, we start off this issue with Peter waking up after the blast, and he sees like a vision of Al Simmons, and then he kind of passes out. Meanwhile, we cut to the PTS headquarters, and the PTS are the people that were running tests on the soldiers and testing out their limbs and stuff. They're doing some kind of really shady secret testing on these people, but we don't know exactly what it is yet. But anyway, somehow the explosion has messed with the nanites that are inside these people's bodies. And so the leader that's in charge of this test is telling his scientists to go send a message to all the soldiers that we've done tests on in the past 5 years. Tell them to come in and that we'll give them free upgrades. When in reality, he just wants them to come to the building so that they can sedate them, remove their upgrades, and test the nanites. So Peter wakes up and Reyes is there and basically tells him like, hey, we have an appointment. And so he goes into the building, the PTS. And so Reyes is called in. He leaves his phone with Peter. And while he's in, he basically gets sedated and they remove his cybernetic limbs and they start running tests on them, trying to check out the nanites. And during this, Reyes wakes up and he gets pissed off that these people are ripping off his limbs and stuff. And he starts just becoming really Zerk. I don't know how else to explain it. It's almost like he has the spawn powers, but not quite. Like we see a little bit of the green and stuff around his face, but that's kind of it. So he has a little bit of nectoplasm within him, but not too much. Not enough to turn him into a spawn. And yeah, he just starts attacking people. And of course, this causes all the guards to come in, and Peter's freaking out because he sees a bunch of guards rushing into where his best friend is at, and he's trying to get answers. I guess I'll just spoil this entire issue. Eventually, Reyes runs out, gets shot in the back, dies in Peter's arms, and Peter gets so pissed off that he morphs into a Hellspawn. And that's how the issue ends. Yeah, a lot of this issue is just basically nothing but a bunch of build-up to the ending where Peter turns into the Spawn. We do get some world building where we see that the PTC building is obviously running tests. We've already kind of known that, but has something to do with nanites and the cybernetics that they're putting on these soldiers. We see that Reyes is involved with maybe some kind of resistance group. He's in contact with somebody who is basically trying to figure out what these people are studying. What are they doing to these soldiers? And this person was trying to contact Reyes earlier to say that Reyes was being led into a trap, but Reyes didn't have his phone on him, so he wasn't able to get into contact. I'm going to guess that after Peter attacks all these people, he's going to escape, and then he's going to get into contact with this guy. I'm assuming that's where the story's going. But that's kind of the only real world building that we get. Most of this is just basically a setup, building up the reveal of Hellspawn. It was fine. It was just kind of a slow build issue. I feel I don't know. I feel if this was made in the 90s or before, we would have gotten these 2 issues in issue number 1. It feels like we could have gotten these 2 issues in just 1 issue. Just the way that comics were told, the story. You can get an entire 3-issue mini arc in just 1 issue, just because of the way the story was formatted back then. Yeah, it feels like this just kind of it drags a bit, which is fine for me. Like, I don't mind like slow storytelling as long as if it's good, and this was fine. I'm just saying this because it is a slow build. It's basically just an entire slow build issue until we get the reveal of Hellspawn. That's all this issue is. It's just a slow build up to that moment. So if you're okay with that, then yeah, check this out. If you want something more faster pace, then yeah, I don't know if this series will be for you because so far it feels like the first two issues were somewhat slowish. A lot of build up, a lot of build up to like big events. I guess I should say. Like we had a long build up until Peter and his group were ambushed, and then we had another long build up until we had the explosion. And in this issue, we have a long build up until we get the reveal of Peter transforming into Hellspawn for the first time. So a lot of build ups to an event, then another long build up event, another long build up event. That basically seems to be the format for this series, which to me is completely okay. I don't mind it, but some of you may not like that. So like I said, if you want something more faster paced, you might want to skip this series, or at least the first two issues aren't really there yet. Maybe now that Peter is a Hellspawn, maybe things will pick up a bit faster. Well, I guess we'll find out in the next issue. But for now, yeah, just a lot of slow build up. But overall, I liked it. Again, like I said, I don't mind the slow build up, so this was fine for me. Artwork is good. I don't really know what to say about Peter as a character because we don't really, I don't want to say we don't really see too much of him because he is in every issue and he is like the majority of the spotlight. However, we don't really get to see too much of his character. I kind of say that with the question mark at the end because we see a little bit, but there's not enough for me to really say what I think about his character or not. He seems to be okay. I mean, this is a soldier who had some kind of mission. He seems to want to follow the rules. Like, he seems to be the person who doesn't disobey orders, doesn't recklessly kill people if they're innocent. He gets kind of betrayed by his government, which is, I mean, this is something that's kind of going down nowadays with the VA not getting the support that they need. So we kind of have a bit of that where he's not getting the support that he needs as a disabled soldier. And so he's trying to make ends meet. But yeah, we only really see him interacting with the Reyes, not too much other than that. And I guess he is possibly Catholic. I guess I'll say that I don't hate him, but there's really not much to judge there. He's fine for now, but I hope we get to see more of his character. I don't know. Maybe it's just that like I read a ton of manga and I read a lot of like shonen. I do read like seinen and other genres as well, but shonen seems to be the main thing that I read. I guess it's because of like the cutthroat industry when it comes to shonen, especially like Weekly Shonen Jump. You gotta hit the ground running, so things are really faster paced, and we kind of get a lot of things spelled out for us, and we get to see like characters, like their entire personality and what their goal is, like within the first chapter. So maybe it's just one of those where I have to leave that manga formula behind and just go to a more comic book oriented formula where maybe not all that explained to us. Again, like I said, I don't mind the slower build, but I kind of wish I had more of an idea of how Peter is. I guess we'll see in the next issue, possibly. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling at this point. Red City 2 was good in my opinion. I liked it, but it may not be for everybody is what I'm trying to get at. For me, it was good. But for others, if you want something more faster paced, you might want to skip this. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.